Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture, and we're at the Canadian Seed Trade meeting in Calgary, Alberta. And right now we are joined by Roger Rotariu. He's with Nuseed. Hey, Roger, how's it going?
It's a great time. It's invigorating to spend a week with the seed industry and see a lot of old friends and talk a lot about the seed business.
It's like kind of old homecoming week for a lot of people, right? It's a lot of familiar faces in the room.
A lot of familiar faces, but a lot of business gets done as well. So it's an opportunity to see a lot of people and advance the industry in a short time frame where maybe save on the resources from traveling all over North America to touch base with people and get the old face-to-face business done.
Well, and with this group, it's really global, right? Because there's people here that are talking about contra season in South America. There's a lot of stuff. The seed business used to be a situation where there was about a 3 to 4 month down period, but now it's just around the calendar, it just wraps like this.
Anybody who's not thinking about the next cycle and the next planting period and the next planting period is probably behind the 8 ball already. So it's like everything else in our industry. It's 12 months a year now. So
absolutely. Okay, so you've taken on a new role. You're now the head of Nuseed for the Canadian market, or also tell us about your role.
Well, I'll say, title means whatever it says on the card, but I am officially the North American marketing lead for Nuseed. And with that, specific responsibilities, the most exciting is the launch of our commercial commodity canola business within Canada. And that'll be for the 2020 season. So we're excited to be ramping up that business. But we also, Nuseed is also involved in sunflower production and seed production for growers, and we also have a vibrant sorghum business based out of our Texas facility.
Nice. Okay, so tell us a bit about the background of Nuseed, because for some people they may be like, I maybe have heard of it, but it's really trying to expand in the North American market for sure.
Well, first of all, Nuseed is wholly owned by New Farm Corporation. Some of your listeners might be familiar.
Definitely know that one.
New Farm and
Feel the burn
from the the chemistry side of the marketplace, based out of Australia. So Nuseed is a venture. We've been building it through acquisition over the last decade or so. In Australia, we have a canola platform there and a very vibrant sorghum production. Or sales. In North America, we've been kind of the foot in the door was sunflower seed, and now through acquisition we've acquired Richardson Seed, which is our sorghum play in North America, and now we've been quietly in the background taking our Australian genetics and I'll say North Americanizing them so that they're ready for the Canadian and Northern Plains grower of the U.S.
So why canola?
It's interesting. Our organization is focused on 3 core crops, the sorghum, the sunflower, and the canola. And it's an area that we think we can have an impact. We really believe in the phrase beyond yield. So what can we provide a grower? It's not just another bushel in the bin or ton in the bin. That's important, and don't get me wrong that we believe in yield and the economics of farming, and we want to support that. But economics can come from more than beyond the yield. So we're looking at output trait production. We're looking at downstream contracts. We're looking at biofuels. We're looking at carbon credits, and where do we fit into that industry? So what other value propositions can we help bring to farmers of North America?
Because one of my questions is how do you in that why canola is there's a lot of companies in that space already. So how do you differentiate yourself from some of the other companies that are really working on this 20 million acres here in Canada, and of course less in the U.S., but still 1 million plus or however many there are. It's a crowded space. So how do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah, it's a great question, Sean. That some people would say we're biting into a big challenge ahead of us. But first and foremost, again, if we link it back to the Beyond Yield, we think we've got some really core output traits. We're working on it's public that we're working on omega-3. We're also working on different specialty oil profiles. We're a leader in specialty oils in the Australian market. So we're looking at different areas of working into that marketplace. So
Yeah.
again, bringing added value to growers, to the canola industry. I think most people would recognize that Australia is the home of blackleg.
Absolutely.
The worst blackleg issues I've ever seen in Canada are a good day
It's
for
sort
an
of
Australian growing.
yeah, scratching the surface for the Australian grower.
So we do have a strength in our genetics in resistance traits. Not traits, I'm sorry, resistance genes
Yeah.
for blackleg, and we'll be bringing those in different packages and combinations to the Canadian grower as well. So
Yeah.
added value in efficacy. We think we've got some really interesting genetics, so we're broadening the genetic footprint for canola for North America by bringing some of our material up. We see the advantages in maturity and to very short season. Yield that will be equate to what growers are used to. But if you can get that a week earlier, that's probably a pretty good day.
Well, and Australia not long on moisture, especially lately. So obviously also some genetics that will perform in some adverse conditions, which is also important in parts of Western Canada.
And we're proving that. And, we're not coming in by just, it would be foolish of us to take a hybrid out of Australia and plop it into Western Canada and hope it works.
Others have tried that and it's failed.
Yes. So this has been 5 years in the making. We've been working on trials for 5 years in Canada to refine and really make this the best hybrid products for this marketplace, grown for the Canadian and the Northern Plains farmer. So we're pretty excited to kind of do the unveil in 2020 and beyond, and let them see what our genetics and what our difference is.
What's the distribution plan to get to the farm gate?
Well, I'm going to have to play the quiet card on that one. At this time, we haven't
TBA
to be announced. We haven't fully announced our plans on distribution, but we have. Obviously, we're in talks with some of the traditional distribution channels of Western Canada, and that'll be announced fairly shortly. Right now, we're just getting the seed ready, and our registrations are coming through, and hopefully as the Western Canadian Canola Recommending Committee makes those recommendations in February, that will be looked upon positively, and we can move into the marketplace for 2020.
So stay tuned on distribution. Okay.
Stay tuned on distribution.
Okay. From a retail perspective, though, and that's probably the stay tuned part of that as well, with which retail networks and things.
Exactly, and that's the part of it.
Okay. How many varieties do you plan on coming to market with in 20?
In 2020, we'll have 2 hybrids that we'll bring into the marketplace. One primarily for our U.S. customers, and one primarily for the Canadian customers, but there'll obviously be a little bit of mix and match to ensure we get a good view of the genetics across the board.
And always important in canola, can you disclose the herbicide trait that'll be attached to them?
The first hybrids that we'll have coming to marketplace have the Truflex trait.
Okay.
Yep.
Great stuff. Well, Roger, congratulations on the new role, and look forward to hear and see what Nuseed accomplishes here as you enter the market of canola in North America.
Well, we're excited to bring added choice to Canadian growers. We hope we can bring value, and we're excited about not just what the genetics will bring in year one. We've got an exciting pipeline for the commodity side, but we think we've got some pretty cool traits that will bring added value to growers downstream as well. And that's the stuff, the output traits that I'm most excited about. So. it's going to be fun.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot, Roger.